Okay, hey guys. So I thought today I would talk a little bit about meditation and how we could more appropriately be using meditation time to help improve ourselves and therefore the societies that we exist in, rather than using meditation as a form of escape. Okay, so as most things happen, spiritual ideologies end up getting corrupted by the ego, and we end up with a more diluted, intentional version of things. So I've been teaching meditation for over a decade, and there are historically two groups of individuals who look to meditation to be added into their arsenal of self-help personal enrichment. You have the one group who is looking to start meditating as a form of relaxation, who are feeling overworked and overburdened and exhausted and depleted, and they're looking to just have some relaxation and escape from the things that cause them to feel stressed and overburdened and overworked and exhausted. And then you have the other group, which are the New Agers. These are the ones who are looking to connect with their spirit guides and astral travel and remote view and raise their kundalini and all of these New Age spiritual ideologies. And while both can have merits, in the end, we really want to be using meditation in the appropriate sense, the one that will gain us the most wisdom. Meditation is the tool for enlightenment, the tool. However, you cannot reach enlightenment if you are not in proper alignment. And meditation, ancient time, has always been practiced as a form of self-improvement. The Pythagoreans, for instance, used meditation as a way to contemplate as to their own character, as to the level of integrity they're currently expressing toward the society, where they're falling short, why they're falling short, what they can do to improve, how can they make that situation right. And it was an honest, hard look at the individual's character as a way to improve their character. And when they improve, society improves, it ripples out. The ancient Chinese recognized that if you lack virtue, if you lack integrity, if you lack discipline and respect for yourself, for your family, for your society, it will eventually destroy it all. And so they spent a lot of time cultivating, again, these proper principles that are in alignment with these spiritual understandings. Now, yes, there is technically no right or wrong. Sort of, this is one of those paradox things, because there is, but there's not, because the wrong choices lead us to certain awareness if properly processed through, which then puts us on the right path, which then helps us to work within universal spiritual law. But deep inside, we all have a moral compass. Some moral compasses are not online at all, and some are trying to be better versions of themselves. Meditation has become hijacked in the way that it's being used essentially as a form of escape from your current reality. That is very dangerous, because if you don't ever reflect on the reality that you're currently existing in and why are you trying to escape it in the first place, you're never going to be able to gain the wisdom and apply the principles for your own empowerment in your reality. So for those who are using meditation as a form of relaxation or as an escape because they feel extremely fight or flight and victimized and exhausted and depleted, and they need to just go within and just tune everything out. The problem is, if you don't reflect on why you feel all of those negative things in your reality, you're never going to be able to fix it. And you're going to just keep cheating yourself. And if you instead use meditation as a way to astral travel, or to have all these amazing magical experiences, while not saying they're not possibly valid, it is also an improper use, because you're not actually applying the information into your daily life to become a wise person. The Pythagoreans never dealt with either one of those scenarios. It was always a very logical, very hard look at where they're falling short and how can they improve themselves to give of themselves for the greater good and the success of the society. Because, and here's the danger of it, because they recognize that the mind is a beautiful tool, but it is also the source for delusions. And if you did not have a refined character, if you did not clean your cup so that you can drink one day of the Holy Grail of your own enlightenment, if you did not have that properly aligned, you could not be sure that the information you were seeing in your mind or gaining was actually coming from a high celestial realm, or if it was just coming from a narrative that was in the mind. Because our minds are beautiful computers and they hold on to all the information we're exposed to, believe in, have heard along the way. And when we meditate and when we use our imagination to go flying on the back of an eagle through a portal, that doesn't mean that we're actually doing that necessarily. And I know this is uncomfortable, inconvenient information, but that's not the first time I delivered such a message. So nonetheless, this is what you have to understand. Until you have refined yourself, been able to be honest with yourself as where your shortcomings are, and begin working with the universal spiritual principles of life and oneness, until you are doing that practically moment by moment, you have not yet refined yourself. Now, we're all going to fall short. All of us are working on personality challenges. But the willingness to be of service, the willingness to improve yourself and to be willing to look at your shortcomings is crucial, because it is only through gaining virtue and doing action from those virtues that you will ever be able to even get the attention of the immortal realm. They won't even see your frequency until then. We're just all trudging along here in this realm, but if you really want to gain the potentials and the backup and the support of the immortals and really reach that wisdom, you have to clean your cup. Attending church 2 hours on a Sunday does not mean your cup is clean. Believing in a particular savior or a theology does not mean your cup is clean. If you really are honestly looking at yourself and your character, you see where you're still judging. You see where you still gossip. You see where you still condone. You see all of these character flaws. And when you then begin to refine yourself and use the spiritual wisdom as your guidance system, you change your vibration. It ripples out from you, and that's how you get the attention of the immortals. And then when you do a meditation with the intention of going in and reflecting on yourself, but instead you end up somewhere else or talking to some celestial being with new ancient wisdom, that you would be more likely to believe is legitimate information from a legitimate source, because you've done the groundwork. But until you've done the groundwork, until you are truly living across the board, not just being nice to that guy, but being nice, doing good across the board, you just can't be sure that your sources are correct. And it is a trap, guys. And you're going to let your mind keep going along cheating you if you don't start to look at your own character. What this world needs is higher integrity. I think it's safe to say that the common individual grossly overestimates their level of spirituality. And until we are willing to look at ourselves and our shortcomings, not with judgment and self-hate, but with honest reflection as to how can I do better, until we can get there, we can't do better. And we're going to keep thinking that we're further along than we actually are. But if you really want to get further along, this is where you start. You have to take hard looks at yourself and your character and begin to build yourself and live your life across the board, no matter how inconvenient it may seem, with a higher level of integrity. Okay, that's it. That's what I got for you today. Hopefully this makes sense to some of you and you are rising up to the challenge of living a life with a higher level of integrity. We need to raise the bar, guys, if we want to try to steer the collective consciousness into a direction that is working with universal spiritual law. We have to be doing it ourselves. And this is how you start. Find out where you're short. find out where you're lacking, and take steps to begin to build yourself and living a life at a higher standard. There you go. If this message resonates with you, feel free to like it and share it. And if you feel so inclined, check out my books on Amazon.com. And in the meantime, guys, good luck on your journey. Namaste.